I've got some challenge updates before we begin. I think most people are already familiar with Trevor since we've had him twice before already. Volunteered himself to come back for this landing page Roastathon. We're going to be giving landing page feedback to help you improve your conversions and get more sales during this challenge. So challenge updates. If you haven't yet, do submit an update. There will be an email going out later today to submit your latest update. When you're inputting those numbers, it should just be whatever your current number of paying users is and whatever your current revenue is. When you signed up originally, you should have put in whatever your current revenue things were then. So our system will calculate what your progress has been since you signed up. If you think you might have done that wrong, let me know. There's a form to correct your data as well. And when you do that now, you will get the option to join our mastermind groups. So mastermind groups are starting today. They're going to be every single week through the end of the challenge, which goes through October. That's a chance to, have a smaller pot of people that you're collaborating with every week, kind of keeping each other accountable, setting goals, and making progress together. So that's it for challenge updates. Trevor, did you mention already format for this Roastathon?
I had not, but I think I'm going to take a look at the page. I do both some qualitative and some quantitative stuff. It takes me maybe 5 to 7 minutes to go through each one. I'm just going to go blast through these as fast as I can because we have more already than we have time.
Sweet.
And so let's run through them all. If you have any question at the end, you can feel free to hit me up on Twitter. I have a hard stop because I think I have a hard stop. Let me double check before I lie. Yeah, I've got a client meeting at noon. So I've got a hard stop. But I do also have, and if you are interested, I have a class I'll be hosting with somebody from Indie Worldwide on Twitter,
Nice.
where I'll be doing an online, he asked for landing page review on Friday, and I will be launching a Twitter-powered class at this link. Everybody who leaves a message there will be enrolled in the class. I have no idea how this works. He's just told me it will work, and we're going to actually get me signed up on Monday. So, knock on wood, nothing goes terribly wrong. But I have a fairly short little class on how to build a landing page in the manner which I prefer. Feel free to go do it or don't, because it may not work in either case. We'll find out. All right. Cool. So let's talk about some landing pages here. I will share my screen. Please forgive my ridiculously wide monitor. But it lets me...
That's never a problem.
Do this. Well, if you're on a phone or something now, you're just like, oh no. But hopefully this is okay. So I just opened these up in the order I saw the requests come in. And we'll start with this. Tiny Bets, learn faster, build a better business. So you're going to hear this on almost every single landing page I talk about today, which is you're starting with a feature, right? This is cool. Learn faster, build a better business. So one, these are not necessarily related, right? Learn faster, my immediate thought is student. Build a better business. Okay, business. Tiny Bets makes designing, running, and learning from lean experiments really easy. So this is cool. I would like to know the speed benefit I get out of this, right? Am I able to launch an experiment in a week, in a day, in an hour? Give me something concrete, because then I begin to understand the utility of it. Now, we've been validating ideas for a while. Cool. No one's going to read this. A repeatable process. Okay, pick the experiment type, design it correctly, collect data, make it. So I'm a little confused. Are you hooked up to my Facebook Facebook ads API, or is this just here's some ways to think of how to run experiments and then you still do all the work separately? I'm not really asking for live back and forth. The landing page doesn't make it clear, right? What's an experiment? What am I learning? How is this being validated? This has left me with more questions than answers, right? I would suggest, to make this concrete and understandable to anybody who hits here, I'd pick 2 or 3 questions you can answer, right? What should I charge for my product? Who's my real audience for my content? What's the best anchor to generate leads with, right? Examples of each of these, and then show how Tiny Bets explains to go through those steps. You could make a little slider, you come up with some graphic, something to explain, right, that this is going to walk you through on these sort of tactical questions and, I don't know, 25 more, whatever. Now I begin to understand the type of experiments you're answering for me. Because right now, this is said very philosophically, run an experiment, right? And if I squint, I can see market, customer, problem, solution, cost, revenue. Okay, so you're answering some strategic questions. The screenshots also are very, like, there's no graphics of any kind anywhere here, right? Like, your screenshots are just shots of text. So I'm not getting a great feeling for how this is going to help me. It looks like you've developed a Electron app that's basically taking something similar to a Notion page, and then you've got an Electron app sitting on top. So, are you not seeing my screen share, Marcus? I guess, is nobody seeing my screen share? I should ask that.
I am.
Oh, we can see it. We can see it.
Okay, so just Marcus was saying, why is there no screen share? I wanted to make sure, because I think I did either with Indie Worldwide or somebody else, I did a half an hour long webinar without sharing my screen before someone stopped me and said, what are you doing? So, okay. So the other thing I like to do is real quick, see what it is you're talking about, right? Just do a quantitative analysis here of what you've said. One is the most common phrase you've mentioned is you're part of Y Combinator Startup School. Right?
Interesting.
No one cares. What are you solving for me? Tell me that. So Tiny Bets makes designing bets and running it, like that shows up once. Okay. Tiny Bet shows up 5 times. Cool. Then the thing most common after your name is Startup School 4 times. This is not the right people to be talking to, right? So you want to write this page. You want to start with the problem you're solving. You want to tell people, learn how to run business-changing experiments in a day. Okay. Now I begin to understand what I'm getting. What's an experiment, you ask? Here's 3 examples of what Tiny Bets can take you through, right? Pricing, find your ideal customer, and I don't know, what should you charge? What are you pricing? And how should you distribute? What's the best channel to sell through? Like, now I begin to understand what I'll get out of signing up for you. And then the other thing I don't see anywhere is start for free, no card needed. Will there eventually be a price? I don't know. So that's like the quick teardown of that. It looks like you've got a fully developed product that is very made by a product person. I don't know that for the type of person you need to be talking to, you've got the language right. I think you might want to run a tiny bet or 2 on yourself and see which one works for you. Cool. We'll look here at microns.io next. MicroStars for sale, 0 commission. Cool. Place to buy MicroStars with no commission. All right. I get the idea. You're kind of like, there's a couple of them out there for SaaS acquiring ARR and asking price here, a little database. This is kind of cool. I get the idea. Do I care how you make your money? I don't think I care why. I don't care how you're making money if there's 0 commission. So it's good to, like, this is a piece of social proof. That's nice to see. In general, I like to see social proof. By the by, that there is none here is a little bit like I would like to have someone say a nice quote. If you look at what's SaaS Acquire, what is it? Andrew Gazdecki's one.
Micro Acquire.
Yeah, there you go. Micro Acquire. Micro AC. Because I know, like, comparing you to him is not fair because he's way further down the journey than you are. Something else he does have that is handy, if it'll load, is I wanted his social proof block because I think he has a pretty good one. Oh, there you go. This giant thing. He has a whole bunch, right? But they're actual quotes, not just the product of the day thing. If you've got a social proof you can get from somebody, that's really handy. I tend to like people who do like the testimonial.to approach where they're linking to a public post somewhere, because that is like anybody can make a quote and go to this person doesn't exist.com and grab a face and be like, look, this person said something about my product. But you link to, like, here's a Twitter post where somebody said they like a thing, right? That is more genuine. If you can find something like that, that's pretty handy. Okay, very simple prospect. I like it. Showing me the pricing here is really handy because most of the other micro SaaS or SaaS acquisition marketplaces, they'll show AR, but they won't necessarily show what people are asking for it. This is pretty handy. Showing that you've actually made some sales is also good to get people to list. One thing I don't know who you're talking to is, oh, there's your wall of love. See, you've already got that. I just was moving too fast. I do think it is unclear to me who the Micron newsletter up here, the Micron's big call to action. Are you really trying to talk to investors, or are you trying to talk to creators who built something? You're a two-sided marketplace. You need to speak to both. But generally speaking, even in a two-sided marketplace, you want to talk to one side primarily. In your case, if you have people looking to buy, you can get people looking to sell, right? Any marketplace thrives when the people who are spending money show up. So I think you might want to tilt your content a little bit towards talking about the value an investor gets out of this, because here it's very, very functional, right? This is how you can buy. We have these things to list. That's all pretty handy. What you aren't talking about, and what you might want to talk about is why, right? Why am I investing in a micro startup? What's the utility to me? How is this a good way to make an investment and build and grow my software portfolio? Something like that might be worthwhile to throw in here, because right now this is extremely functional, but I don't see any benefit coming my way. Now, it is very focused. I do like the simplicity of it. The other thing that is a little wonky here is you're saying subscribe for free as your main CTA, not, hey, can I contact this founder, right? Can I get a hold, like, join my actual platform isn't your call to action. It maybe you've A/B tested this and this is the right way to do it, but it feels weird to me that everything you've got is join my newsletter, not sign up to be part of the actual marketplace. So you might want to test, if you haven't, is that a better way to do it? Or maybe it's not. Like, after some experimentation, you'll know. You've got a big list. You've got a cool website. Overall, I like the landing page. I would try some things to see if I can improve it. And the other question is, what are we talking about here? So we have micro SaaS, startup, sale, asking price. Those are all pretty good. Black Friday deals. I didn't even see a Black Friday deals thing come in. Black Friday? What? It must be coming from some text that's not actually, like, visible on the page. That's a weird one to have showing up everywhere, though. Okay. And then 3x keywords here. Yeah, you've got a Black Friday code. It's actually the most common thing on the site, which is unexpected. So if that's not intentional, I might attempt to fix the missing text that is showing that, because although a human won't see it, a search engine will. I like microstars for sale. All of this, these are all great keywords to be having, like what you're talking about. You're speaking to your audience. That's good. Overall, I think it's a pretty good page. Okay. This one doesn't work. Next one. So I saw this came up in the Roast My landing page Slack channel, but it was posted, I think, this morning. I'll go ahead and volunteer this one in too. This was asking about, is this the right way to build a pricing page? And because it's different than what everybody else has been asking for, I thought it might be worth talking about as well, because many of you may have pricing pages. So a few things to think about when you're building pricing. One of them is, invariably, the high price, everyone says no. And one, that's not enterprise pricing anyway, right? €19 is still very, very small business pricing. €19,000 a month enterprise pricing. So I wouldn't I'd call that maybe free, pro, and gold or something rather than enterprise, because it shows you don't know enterprise. But the other thing is the high tier people generally discard, right? That's too high. The low tier people generally go, oh, there should be a feature here, something you drive them up. Middle tier is what you're going to assume you sell most of your packaging as. It should be frequently you find something like, let me go, these guys, I think I've seen their pricing page recently and plans. They'll have, right, most popular, you call out a price. This actually, as cheesy as this feels, and you're like, who's enough of a sucker to make the jump from 50 to 150 a month just because someone threw a damn banner on there? Except people are. Look, I was. That's not entirely true. I wanted the 300 searches. But that $150 a month tier, which is a big jump, right? That puckers you a little bit, was gated up, and it is, they know, right? You probably want more than 50 searches a month. So they put a big cap, and you can make up to the next stage. So when you think of the value you're charging on, right, which in this case appears to be just some features that you don't otherwise get in Mingo, these better be the features that people want the most, because you want to put those in your median tier. And then up here is where you put your, if you've got the money, let's talk, but really I don't expect to sell as many of these hardly. So in your pricing plan, set those three up. It helps to recommend it or to make it bigger, visually call it out. People just kind of expect this is a keystone. It's the high end of pricing. People assume you're not going to charge that much. The keystone should be high enough that you're like, oof, that's expensive. Oh, this sounds more reasonable, right? You deliberately want to set the high end of your pricing just way out there, right? If someone's willing to pay it, good for them, but that's not what you expect to make. And then beyond that, on a pricing page, having quotes is good. One thing I don't like about this is I would usually say you want to have not just this check and then this check, which includes the same thing, or hey, here's the full list of all the pricing. Like this gets super confusing, right? So this is pro, this is also pro, but they're presented in very different ways. Like, don't do this on your own pricing page. And then all the pro features plus some stuff that I don't care about. Okay, like your enterprise plan needs some work over there. In general, you want to look, again, SparkToro is pretty good, right? Every tier here, until the tier that you know no one's going to pay for, it's bigger. I don't even have to read this to know I get more stuff here. So clearly I'll pay more. There's more lines of text. That must be better. Even without having to think about it, I've got a anchor in my head, right? Think about that when you're building your pricing too. Cool. Talk about Skilled Up. So Skilled Up is weird. I kind of hate this, but also I get why they did it. But again, this is rather like Micron's, right? Skilled Up is a two-sided marketplace. They're trying to build both sides of the marketplace. In their case, their demand, they need to have volunteers. If they have enough volunteers, if they can say, hey, I've got 4,000 volunteers, it's easy to find tech companies who want to exploit free labor. Okay. Which should mean this landing page should be one thing. It should be get real world experience that changes your life, right? That's what it should talk to, is the volunteers. Because if you can build that side of the two-sided marketplace, it's really easy to do cold outreach to a startup and say, hey, everyone's raising down rounds now because the market's tight. Wouldn't you like to have some free labor, train some people, make a difference in some people's lives, and not pay a cent for it? That's an easier way to go, right? I very much dislike saying to people, hey, there's 4 things to click. Good luck figuring out our UX, right? It's a truism of website design and of making sales copy on landing pages that your visitor spends 99.999% of their time on somebody else's website. So they should expect to see UX patterns like other websites. I don't think I've seen anyone build a 4 CTA homepage like HeroDiv in the last 5 years, because anybody who tests things through just will know this performs shatteringly poorly. Unless maybe it doesn't. There's always the exception where, I'm wrong 70% of the time because I know what generally works, and sometimes things surprise me. So over here, I do feel like it is highly unlikely that this is the right way to do it. And if I go to a mobile view, right, you're starting with tech companies, which is already, I think, the wrong side of the two-sided marketplace to put first. They basically said, this is the real hero div of the website, is what shows up when you do the mobile view. I think it's the wrong one. So I would heartily recommend that they try to simplify this into one CTA. I also don't know that you need sign up free and how it works. Again, I would think you want to do sign up, and how how might go below. Right? Tech companies, cool. Some social proof is handy. Some scope of numbers here is pretty cool. I find it weird that you have fewer applications than volunteers, unless applications are the opportunities, in which case you might want to change what that says. This is also like if I search something here, right? Marketing. Are you going to prompt me to sign up? What's going to happen here? Or nothing. Nothing could happen too. I feel like explaining that this is a two-sided marketplace is one super insider language. Like only startups know what a two-sided marketplace is. Okay. So this is the actual volunteers page. Cool. This looks a bit like AngelList. I get it. Okay. Saying it's a two-sided marketplace isn't very valuable. If I know what a two-sided marketplace is, I can figure that out myself by the nature of what you're doing. 2, this doesn't tell me anything, right? Skilled Life helps tech startups go to 10K MRR is more useful. This slide is entirely unreadable. Even if I expand this to like full screen width, like that still gets squinty. And again, you think of your poor mobile phone browser is going to look at this and go, shit, man. Like, I'm old. I'll grant you that. But there's no way on my phone I'd be able to read this without zooming in and out and then inevitably clicking on something like a scared old person navigating the internet and being like, oh no, I've gone somewhere. What happened? So think of your user when you're making this. Where does this take me to? Like you've got, again, 5 or 6 CTAs on your homepage. They just going everywhere, right? I think you need to simplify what you want people to do down to one idea. And then even the homepage, broadly speaking, should be pushing there or maybe into some content, right? Some blog post is fine here. Although, wow, these are terrible images to have as your anchor images in the blog, right? Like giant pixely screenshots that don't even properly fit into the box. That doesn't make people feel good about your website's functionality. How we help tech companies. This is cool. Who we partner with. Okay. And then get started. It's time to upskill. Okay. So overall, let me see what you're talking about. Hey, so skilled up life, experience skills. Read more shows up a lot. You might want to consider that. Otherwise, this looks like an open submenu. This looks like a pretty reasonable set of words to be showing up for. Yeah. So at least you're speaking the right language. I just think you're talking to too many people about too many things and don't have a strong opinion about what you want somebody coming to your homepage should do. I would test. I might make some tiny bets and test the idea of, do I speak primarily to volunteers or do I speak primarily to companies? To simplify this 4-way CTA. And then I would try and drive people generally throughout all of these different CTAs to a similar place. I do like that I can search right here and find volunteers. I might, or find opportunities. It might be real handy to say, hey, volunteers, gain real world experience and change your life by helping launch, making a difference in a tech startup, something like that. And then search for opportunities. That's your hero deal, right? You think of something like, I'm sure how old I am, but that's also if you spell monster correctly. And there we go. You go look here, right? Now, it's, of course, this is a paid gig, but it is still, what do you do when you go there? You search for an opportunity. If I go to Indeed.com, what do you do when you go there? You search for an opportunity. Any place you go where it is helping you find opportunities to spend your hours in a gainful way, it starts with, well, let's hope you find something. You've buried that 5 screens down. I don't think that's how you want this to go. Okay. Who we got here? Tweetlify. Create viral tweets that gets thousands of real followers. Okay. Get access to our viral tweet database with millions of viral. Okay. So it's like, I would almost think, because if you go to Gumroad and you search, you can get knowledge products there that are like this, right? If I do, where is search? I don't even know where it is. I'm a seller on Gumroad. I don't remember how to actually buy stuff. So I do things like, we have, sure, education, right? And I can search for like viral. There you go, right? Viral Inspiration Lab. Here's, I mean, I don't know what this costs. I'm not going to randomly buy your thing, but okay. There's opportunities to buy things like this. There you go. How to write highly viral Twitter threads. This is $150, right? And this is, to me, seems like it's offering a similar value prop. I don't know what you're charging. You don't say. And I don't get how this is different than something like this. So if you're saying, hey, we give you this access to database, we give you training, there's some sort of online course you can go through to learn how to personalize these things, something like that would be handy. A big part of what makes viral tweets viral is that you have an account with enough followers where you can have the spread, right? So the value prop of create viral tweets and get thousands of real followers feels unlikely to me. So that's, yeah, I don't know what pricing is. I feel like this has no need to be a monthly subscription. And again, unless you're saying, hey, we update this every day, every week with more tweets, like a whole lot of the value around why I would give you my credit card to hit it once a month is not here. I don't understand how seeing a library of tweets helps me get thousands of real followers. I feel like you've got a database of viral tweets you've researched, but you don't really have a good way to monetize it yet. I think you need to consider, even all the way back at the product level, right? Is this a monthly subscription? Is this is the database the core of what you do, or are you able to say, hey, I've researched 5,000 different viral tweets. I am an expert in the space. I can help you craft viral tweets. Pay me $50 a month and I'll work on one viral tweet with you and give you access to my entire library, right? Like, is there a way you can package this up where you're offering more value than just, here you go, here's a list of stuff I copied and pasted, right? I'd come back around on that value prop. How are we doing on time? It is 11:30. We're like halfway through. Okay, list us. Create, manage, and share your list of. See, I used to do this, and I have grown to hate it, because when you're doing this alternating crawl, what it means is you don't know what the hell you're doing, right? You're like, is it listening? Is it watching? Is it reading? I don't know. So rather than make a decision, I'll just animate a crawl, and then I don't have to think. And better is to know which one is the one that performs and then talk about that one. So I notice elsewhere, talking about reading, let me take a quick gander at this, how often the word reading showed up. So read and reading, right? That's 5-9. That's 9 out of, and then nothing else, right? So you don't have watch or listen actually showing up anywhere else here. Just read. So probably you want to keep it reading. Now, it may be, again, you want to test, it may be having the animation makes it stickier so people see this and they pay attention. I don't know. What you generally want people to do is take your call to action as soon as possible. As I've mentioned, the majority of people spend their time on someone else's website. I would kind of expect the CDA to be here, right? It's up here, which is fine, but try for free here. I bet you will have a higher click-through rate. Now, manage your reading list. I'm also a terrible customer for this because if I want to read something, I've read it, and if I don't, I've forgotten about it. I don't know how different I am than the rest of the internet, but all of us have busy lives. All of us have things we wish we were doing that we put into a list of things and promptly forget. Like my Twitter bookmarks is basically a graveyard of 800 things I went, oh, that'd be cool to think about again in the future, and then never did. And that's also true for any other bookmark management system I have. So I'm not a great customer here, but manage your reading lists that's literally your job, right? That's the damn thing you do. As a feature, right? Why am I managing my reading lists? What am I getting out of managing them? Are you helping surface something I bookmarked a month ago and being like, hey, Trevor, you should really read this now? Like, what are you doing that's better than just, I've got a bookmarks toolbar right here somewhere. You can say I've never even used it. I've got collections or whatever that is in my browser, right? So I could do this without using your tool. Why use your tool to solve my problem if there's too much content, I'm not consuming it? You haven't addressed that, right? Even here, history is just my damn browser. RSS, I use Firefox for one of my browsers. It's got built-in RSS feed reading. That said, a lot of people's browsers don't have it. I get it. I don't know, though, how many people use RSS these days. I've been around long enough where that was how I used to consume blog content primarily. But I feel like these days, most people, if it's not on Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever their social media feed is, they don't care, man, right? They're not subscribed to a blog roll anymore. Full text search. Okay, so you're archiving pages I've been to. This continues to mention that this is reading, right? Because you can't do full text search of a video or a podcast. So, okay. Copy, subscribe. I'm not sure. I get this. These all sound very RSS feedy. And then discover sound like we're adding in some social exploration. I remember Stumble Upon back in the day. This feels like something along that line. I still don't get the value prop of why Listos is better than something I already have. So I think you need to surface that and talk about, am I learning faster? Am I becoming a better knowledge worker? Am I making sense of my incredible cluttered browser history? What am I doing with Listos? I don't get it. And I'm not sure you do either. So I think you need to figure out why you made this tool and then talk to some people who might be users of it and then use that language to discover how to actually talk about your product. Beyond that, what you're talking about, like organizing reading lists and trying free is what you're talking about. That is aligned relatively well with what you want to say. Then you do have things like articles, video, like podcast. I don't really feel like you care about those things, at least in the way your product is built right now. And I might rather simplify things down than try to do too many things and not succeed at them. Okay. TurboNav, achieve inbox 0 on Gmail. Is inbox zero still a thing? I don't know. That's fair enough. I don't have alerts right now on my Google on my Shift browser. I probably have on my personal email like 4,000 unread, and my work email like a couple hundred. But I get the idea. Move faster in Gmail. That would be nice, right? This is the Chrome extension? Gotcha. Focus time. That's built into Windows. Maybe it's not built into Mac. I don't know, but I can turn off distractions, right? Oh, you like a writing mode? Okay, I got it. Quick commands. Again, Gmail has a whole bunch of shortcuts. I feel like if I'm enough of a power user to want to use quick commands, I probably know the shortcuts in Gmail. If this is better than the Gmail shortcuts, tell me how, because I don't know. Quick navigation. Okay. This feels a little bit superhuman-y, right? If we're able to say, because Superhuman charges a ridiculous amount for basically a front end to email that doesn't suck. If you're able to say, hey, spend 2 hours less a week on email because you're not waiting for the damn Chrome to load on all of the updated settings for your Gmail, that might be handy, right? Superhuman, what's their value prop these days? Superhuman.com, I think it's .com. There you go. The fastest email experience ever made. Now, they also care about like feeling beautiful, right? Getting this impression that your whole world is going to be better. Look how simple. Look, it's a freaking rocket engine. You're going to be a superstar, right? Life's going to be phenomenal here. You're going to have no troubles. You're going to solve world peace. I do think you've got a pretty good design feel. I would note, Superhuman doesn't actually show their product hardly at all. There you go. There's one screen phone shot, right? A phone screenshot. Otherwise, they're not showing you their product. They're showing you the emotion. Superhuman is telling knowledge workers who spend all their time in email, which is middle management and senior management, imagine how good life could be, if you only used our tool. You're very functionally focused. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend you compete on the emotional side. Superhuman's doing that messaging. If you try and compete directly against them, they've got more money than you do. They'll probably win. But I do wonder, you're entirely focused on features, right? But even this, achieving inbox zero, it can be a goal, it can be aspirational. It's not necessarily a value. Achieving inbox goal unlocks what for me? One of the things you get when you're at inbox zero is you can declutter your mind, right? I've got now open to-dos in my inbox. A ton of people still in the year 2022, for some ungodly reason, use email as their to-do list, which horrifies me. But whatever, that's where we are. For those people, inbox zero means I did everything. So you can maybe talk a bit about that idea of I've solved my to-do list. I've improved my day. I'm knocking things out. I am more productive. Talk a bit about that. See how that goes. Otherwise, I generally like this. I'm horrible with email because I only check it twice a day. And so this doesn't prey on me. I also go to my personal email once a week, select all unread, and just delete. I know who's talking to me. So I'm not your ideal customer here, but I can see where if you message correctly on this can do very well. All right. This came in as a request. It is literally just this, which, dude, I can't help you. Okay, next. Uni One Digital. Save more and get your copywriting with ease. So if you're a copywriting website, your copywriting needs to be really fucking good, and this is not. Because, one, I'm not convinced that's native English, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like what I'm trying to achieve over here is this was just an MVP. It's done in Webflow, and I have an app in making. I'm focusing on SEO.
Okay, cool. Even still, if this is a copywriting. Yeah, I have no idea what your product does, but like having gone through all this, you haven't said what you do. If I click on learn more, do you tell me what you do? Like, okay. I mean, no one's going to read all of this.
Well, I can simply explain right here, right now.
No. It's fine. This is landing page teardown, not talk to me teardown.
Okay.
Even having read this all, I still have no idea what you do. So, whatever you're attempting to communicate here, you have not done successfully. All right, because this at least is values, right? Attract new followers, get a bunch of words. 3 types of writers with 2 fingers leads me to question your counting skills. And in a bunch of different languages. So if the idea is you're giving training to people on how to be better copywriters, cool, be a better copywriter and come back and try again, because nothing about this is going to persuade somebody, I want to give Uni 1 my money to do something. Okay?
I get it. I totally love that. And the definition is, I don't, it's just that I collaborate with copywriters and I do great content, SEO-wise.
So if you're doing SEO, then this is shatteringly bad, because the word SEO doesn't appear on the page once.
No, this is just an MVP.
Okay.
SEO with copywriting, with graphics, and all included.
Okay. So, but my recommendation here is make a product, come back and try again. This landing page does not tell me anything useful.
Okay.
So, alrighty. My good week. Build new habits using just your calendar. Start measuring all these things. Here we have again a rotator, right? I've already talked about these. Speaking as somebody who has quantified a lot of this to try and figure out how to make my work week better, very much I like this idea. I've kind of bodged things together with, quantifying my sleep with my smartwatch, all of these things. Be the best version of yourself. Cool. Okay. Whose layout is pretty funky. In that doing 1, 2, 3 right to left is not how any English or Romance language speaker thinks. So that caused me a bit of a cognitive grind, but okay. This 1, 2, 3. Connect your calendar, choose the habits, track results. Okay. I do like this idea. My one problem is there's maybe 3 billion of this. I don't know how you're not one of those 3 billion. Right? There are tons of habit trackers out there. It is a very common thing for a developer. Like, 2 things every developer thinks everyone else has built wrong. One is their dev environment. The other is their productivity tracker. Every developer builds one that is unique to their own particular brain. And then they go, oh, I built this thing. This is cool. Maybe somebody else wants it, and they try to productize it. And so you end up with millions of these, right? Validate that what you want to do is useful enough that people will pay and that you can reliably attract people to try your thing. Because right now, this feels like one of every single other one of this. And if that's what it is, we're going to have a very hard time growing, right? Particularly at $50 a year. Like, the pricing's not terrible, but there's tons of free options out there that do personal tracking, and then they just sell my data on to somebody else, right? Like, find a way to convince me you're safer, you're less creepy, you have better outcomes. Like, if I'm looking to improve my life by quantifying it, I either want a better way, like easier way to track, a way to track more things, a better motivation to make me do things, or some way to feel that you aren't going to sell all my stuff like everybody else does. So
that's actually a really good point. It either needs to be the best, or you need to really focus on the privacy, because I think everyone that's putting their tasks on the internet knows that it's being sold if it's free.
Yeah. So if the price is free, you are the product. That's the problem. All right. What do we got? We have 12 minutes left. Let's keep flying through this new sphere. Interactive hands-on virtual for preschoolers. So I have 2 preschoolers. I also have a 7-year-old. During lockdown, he was in 1st grade. To say that it is tough to sit a 6-year-old in front of a TV, in front of a computer screen for 45 minutes and have them learn something is an understatement. Now, to be fair, all the teachers who were doing this were, 50 plus years old, didn't get into the business to run virtual classes through a webcam. And the chaos that ensued when you can't be like, no, seriously, shut down, like, shut up, sit down, don't make or I'll send you out of the room. You can't do that when they're all on the webcam. My immediate question is, has the person running this ever done this? If so, cool. But then I feel like you can message to a parent and be like, hey, virtual classes for preschoolers that don't suck, or have engaging virtual classes for your preschooler where they'll actually want to be part of it, right? Do this kind of thing, because every parent who's been through lockdown knows what happens when you put the kid in front of the iPad and try to leave the room and let them go have their own life. It does poorly. So just the general idea, I'm skeptical of. Let's talk about the landing page teardown too. Good graphic. I like the idea of what you're doing here. A 50-minute class for a preschooler is soul crushing, but okay. Pick a consistent class time. Try for free. Social proof. I love it. I would like to see a photo or something that makes it look a little more like a human did this and not something you wrote, but okay. Pick your program. This is cool. I really cannot fathom. This feels like the parent has to sit with the child, which I think if that's the case,
that's
cool.
correct for the 2-year-old program. The toddler is with the parent.
Yeah, even, I mean, maybe my children are uniquely poorly behaved, but my girls who are 3, if I put them in front of the tablet and then left the room, they are smart enough to switch tabs, get to Netflix, and nope right out of the class, right? Like, they'll be gone. So I feel like this probably is generally, you got to be there-ish with them. In which case, maybe you should show, happy mom with child A, we're having fun, right? Something like that might set expectations better for what they expect the class should be like. Okay. Amazing instructors. I do feel like maybe you want them higher because, again, any parent who's been through lockdown knows how bad most teachers are at remote teaching. Having something that looks cool is handy. Look inside a classroom. I kind of like the idea. How long is this video? Because I'm probably not going to watch more than 60 seconds. So 30 seconds. Awesome. Cool. That's a good length video. Satisfaction guarantee is handy. I would make this a little more visually appealing, right? You can throw like a seal logo or something on there so I can see it. Overall, and actually showing some of these activities might be handy too, to give me a feeling of what my child will be in, right? So when you're talking about these different programs, having a sample activity or something I can see might be handy here. Overall, because I'm a grouchy old man, I suspect the possibility of it. The landing page construction is pretty good. Your CTA, which is put everywhere, try a week free. That's pretty cool. Your pricing is also pretty good, right? $130 a month is pretty low, particularly if you're able to start to make claims about how this is going to help prep my kids for school, help them with development. One of my daughter's language is lacking significantly behind the other, even though they were born 8 seconds apart. So, like this kind of thing, being able to talk about that as a parent, I would see the value. I think your language around what you're getting out of this could use some sharpening. I do see, right, your general idea of what you're talking about, try a week free, is cool. There are a couple things, fine motor skills, virtual preschool. Like, it looked like, generally speaking, you're talking about the right stuff. that is good to see. You do have like pretty much everything is this CTA. I do like that, except meet our team. I do like that. Yeah. Overall, provided that it actually works the way you say it does, I think it is pretty well constructed. I might try and focus on value a little more still, because again, this is not value. This is what you do, right? A little more here. This is closer to value, but again, saying something like improve fine motor skills and language letter recognition in preschoolers to get them ready for their start on life. Cool. Something like that is a value out that I receive. Many parents know, like, I should work on letters and shapes and color with my kids, but it's all I can do just to not strangle them. So, all right, we've got 5 minutes, and we've got a couple of submissions that came in late. Let me see what we have here. I see the last text, my wedding. Cool. We'll do that one next. What I will also try and do is I'll make a Twitter thread later today when I'm not in meetings and do a video recording of all of these that have been dropped in that I haven't gotten to, so that you'll at least get to see what my landing page teardown is. And I will put it in the Slack channel for Roast My Landing Page so everybody can get their consideration as well. Let me just tear through this one real fast, and then we'll wrap up for this call. Keep your wedding running smoothly. That is a value. I might test some emotional language here, because every bride, as the day approaches, has more and more stress about the wedding. Husbands don't care, right? My job when I got married was to show up and wear socks. That was it. My wife took and pay for some things. My wife took care of everything else, and her parents, right? It was their whole thing. My younger brother is getting married in October, which is a ways out, and already his fiance is losing her damn mind about the wedding, right? So you can try some emotional language here to see if it works better, because saying things like, weddings are a nightmare, make them work better with text my wedding. Something like that may form an emotional bond that works better. Schedule, like, these are a bunch of features. I don't know why I'd want all of them. So instead of the actual features of what you do, things like text every guest, like if the venue has changed, or make sure all of your caterers are here on time. Like, actual value of what these things unlock here might be handy too, because I don't know why I'd want to schedule a wedding text message. I also got married 7,000 years ago, so maybe it's different now. The easiest way to ensure your day goes off without a hitch, cool. We have some short value props here. I get that. This is good. This I know, right? Because if you send a group text, inevitably Uncle Larry will reply, and then you get replies of, can you remove me from this? And then it's just a daisy chain of suck for several months after you sent the text to everybody. Cool. How this actually works. Okay, yes, I don't know you want this yet, right? I feel like the first thing I want to see after this is a bride who says, this saved the day, right? Like, we had to move venues the day of the event. We just texted everybody, and I got back to binge eating instead because I was so stressed out about other things, like whatever. Like, you get that is very strong. And putting a social proof here, I mean, if you haven't launched yet, get a friend of yours on Twitter to say a nice thing about you and then post it. It doesn't matter. Just get something that sounds plausible and then make that your social proof section, right? Features here, how it works. Okay. I don't know pricing. Okay. Okay. I wonder if, just as an aside, right now you're selling to bride. This is a one-off sale. You don't get recurring revenue. This is tough. Maybe you want to sell to wedding planners. and say, hey, keep all of your events running smoothly by managing text messages for your brides at scale. This is way better, right? Maybe that's a place you want to take your business. You probably already thought of that. If you haven't, there's a cool idea. If you have and you've tested it and no one wants it, my bad. Wedding guests, text messages, manually add. These are all kind of the right things. These are all very feature, right? Import wedding guests, AI address parser. That's a weird one to have show up 3 times. Yeah, I get the value of what you're doing. I think for such an emotional thing, you can make more emotional language. I do think you can. If I think of like who you're selling to, right? You might want to take design notes from someplace like The Knot, right? Let's show a happy married couple. Let's think about who you should be showing on your site. Like, I've got a reception hall and no other photos, just a bunch of screenshots. Again, this is a product-minded person's way of doing things, right? Look, I made features. Show me an emotion, tell me a story, take me on a journey. I got to hop on my noon appointment. I'm going to grab every single message that was put into chat here, and everybody I can, I will do a notepad here, async recording of you guys. Thank you all for showing up. Hope some of you found this useful. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter with any questions if I haven't answered them for you. Bye.
Wait, before we leave, I'd love to just grab a quick screenshot to prove that people show up. So if you want to be in screenshot, turn on your camera real quick if you don't want to be fully. But I'm going to take it in 3, 2, big smiles, 1. Okay, one more because we Miss David. Oh, and Miriam. All right, we're getting everybody. All right, in 3, 2, 1. All right, yeah. Thanks, guys, so much for coming. If you didn't get your landing page roasted, post in the Roast My Landing Page channel and Slack. We got 24/7 roasts going on. Otherwise, I will see you guys at our next event, which is actually only in 3 or 4 days. We have a Jobs to be Done workshop coming up. You can check the event calendar, and I'll be posting it in the Slack.
Cool. See y'all.
So, see you guys there. Bye, Trevor. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.